of you who are just on the midweek and aren't on Facebook, some people just watch this in the midweek when they get it out, yes? They probably wonder why I've been sitting down, just because it gives my foot more rest. So I'm enjoying doing it differently. I hope you are too. All right, so my talk today is on listen. You know, I write down what my talk title is at the beginning of the week, so I'm constantly looking at that. What does that mean? What does that mean? And we're going to look at the gold nuggets that you receive from this, because it's all about what wakes up in you. Because I already got it woken up in me, so this is about for you. So when I kept looking at this, I come to believe that our learning to listen is our key to success in so many ways. A key to our personal well-being and a key to our freedom. Learning to listen is important to our health, important to our spiritual growth. To truly listen means we're teachable. Very important. How many of you felt so stuck that this was the only way? There's no other way. When we listen, it means we're open, it means we're available to being in partnership with our own divine nature. It isn't just you or me. We're in total and complete partnership with the divine. And the more we understand that, and the more we're willing to work with it, it'll work with us in a greater way. Yes? Yes. We are open to that Spirit of God living within us when we listen. When we give ourselves permission to listen, we open the door to the voice within us, to our inner wisdom. Listening for me is like a sailboat, with its sail filled with the wind, helping that boat, guiding me in the right direction. You know, if the wind doesn't come up, if I don't twist that sail in exactly the right place, it doesn't catch the wind. If I don't listen to the presence of Spirit that lives within me, I don't catch the direction. Learning to listen, it is like sailing, catching the wind and catching the inspiration that is always present and always available for each and every one of us. Yes? Yes. So Abraham Hicks says, the universe is not punishing you or blessing you. The universe is responding, hear that, very important, responding to the vibrational attitude that you are emitting. The more joyful you are, the more well-being flows to you. And you get to choose the details of how it flows. I love that. How well are you listening? The key is in the choices that we make. What choices will you make today? I used to think that I'd been dumped here in this life by God. Anybody else? I used to think that I'd been dumped into an unfriendly universe with no navigation skills whatsoever. Anyone? Or was it just me? Probably just me. It was a little bit unusual. I saw no reason nor purpose for my life. Everybody breathe in that. Today I have great compassion for that part of me. That part of me that I used to be. I have great compassion because I felt so lost and alone. And that was an aspect of who I used to be. In Neville Goddard's book, the one that I'm going to be teaching starting, not next week, I think it's the week after. Yeah. Is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Okay. Is the wealth mindset. And one of the things that he says in this is practice uncritical, hear that, uncritical self-observation and detachment. Even though this says the wealth mindset, it's not all about money. It's about living wealthy in ourselves, living wealthy through the practice of uncritical self-observation. As you can tell, I like this book. I have read it 5 times, and I'm reading it again and again and again, because it has a wealth of love in it for me personally. So that's all so it's our state of consciousness. He also goes on to say, our state of consciousness attracts our life experiences. So let's hear that again. Practice uncritical self-observation and detachment. Our state of consciousness attracts our life experiences. Everybody breathe. I have to keep going over and over that part, because I'm going, if I'm attracting something that I'm not liking, then what is my state of consciousness about that? Am I living from a place of fear or awfulizing, or what if this happened? Okay? Anybody? Just me. Okay, good. I'm glad. Pray for me. In 1978, I didn't like my life. I saw no reason or purpose for my life. I wasn't afraid to die. I was afraid of living. Anybody? That was me. It was way hard. It was way hard, I thought, to live, because I didn't have a roadmap. Reverend Suzanne last week asked us each, what is your mind digesting? Notice who I used to be. You know, being in Science of Mind, being in the Centers for Spiritual Living, and taking the classes that I've taken, I just kept taking classes because I wanted more information, and here I am. Hallelujah. Anyway, so last week, Reverend Suzanne said, what is your mind digesting? Oh, what are we constantly saying to ourselves? And she also told us, thank you, challenges strengthen us. We've both been selling our houses and moving into a whole new direction. And she's right. Reverend Suzanne's very correct. Challenges strengthen us, because challenges ask us to be greater than what we thought we were in the past. Challenges ask each of us to correct our course, to change our thinking, and to keep looking for a greater truth. The body and our thinking is the one thing in the world which is completely and intimately ours. We're in charge of our own body. We're in charge of our own mind. It's what we think, it's what we believe that creates the atmosphere that we're living in. Our bodies and our mind is a powerful tool for us to use. So listen, open to your inner thoughts, your wisdom. Learn to use this divine wisdom that lives within you. When we learn to listen and to ask, we will receive. We can ask the question, what is the highest and greatest good? You know, I kept pushing to get an earlier date for my foot. I just thought that was the best time. Well, it turned out that that would not have been the best time at all, because things started to shift and change in my life that needed my attention, and that wasn't my foot. Does that make sense? Yes? Good. Knowing this, we can experience life more fully when we learn to listen to our authentic, our divine self. Don't push through something. If the door is blocked, then find another door. One of the best things my dad ever taught me was how to drive. And he'd say, always know who's behind you, because I was a single woman driving a lot by myself. Always know who's behind you, always know who's beside you, who's in front of you, and always make room for a quick decision, for an escape to get out of the way. Okay? And he said, be proactive. Because I learned his wisdom, and I have learned to listen. This last week when I was driving down Highway 80, just before Vacaville, You know those cement barriers that they put up when they're doing construction? I have never felt comfortable there because from what my dad said, you have to have a way out. You have to have room to move, and that does not give me room to move. So as I headed down toward down 80, here are all these cement barriers, and I heard Spirit say, move over. Oh yeah, I don't like that. Okay, so I moved over. Just as I got to the really impacted place of the cement barriers, there was a yellow truck, one of those box trucks up in front of me, just in front of me. All of a sudden, right next to the cement barrier, there was a whole group of cars, and they started to crash. And this yellow truck, he quickly, I'm surprised he didn't jackknife, he quickly made a turn right in front of me, and I could move over. It's like we want to be ready to make those decisions. And so I remember how grateful I am to my dad for teaching me, not only in my driving, but in my life experiences. What's the possibility there for me? Remember the sailboat? All sailboats have a rudder to help us move in the wind. The rudder steers the boat into the direction we wish to desire to go. In James 3 of the Bible, it states, the tongue is our personal rudder. Now, even though it's a small part of our body, the tongue, and what we say steers our life. I love that. The tongue is our personal rudder that steers our life. What we say determines the direction we go in. Change your thinking, change your life is one of the sayings here in Centers for Spiritual Living. We believe that as we change our thinking, our life automatically changes. That's why. Listen to what you say, not always outwardly, but what are we saying inwardly to ourselves? Are we berating ourselves? Are we saying we're not good enough? Are we saying that we're limited, we're less than? Good news. We each can change the direction our lives are taking with our words. Because you see, the words we speak are powerful. And when we listen to what we're saying about ourselves or the life around us, we can choose words of success. I think this is one of the most important things. I go around saying, I am blessed. Everything always works out for me. I absolutely say everything always comes together in the perfect right time, in the perfect right place, even though sometimes I might think that I have a better idea about it, yes? Even when I feel a little bit stuck, I say, okay, I'm blessed, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm valuable. I have seeds of greatness within me. Everybody take a breath. Let's say that to ourselves. I have seeds of greatness within me. I'm willing to bless myself. When we listen to the words we use and what we say, we can and will correct our course in our life. I've done it. Reverend Suzanne has done it. She's doing it. We're both doing it. And we're supporting each other. So we've let go of houses and going into whole new experiences. What we say, we can and will correct our course. So I ask you the question, is your rudder and your words positioned for success? Is your rudder and your boat and your sail filled with the idea that you're heading towards success? If not, change your thinking. I guarantee it'll change your life. First, we learn to speak words of success for ourselves. It must come first for ourselves. And then we speak words of success for our family. What I shared with you in the Joyce and Support. Two of our sons are having difficulties right now. We know they're both brilliant young men. We know that they both have the ability to move through that condition and situation. I am not going to bemoan for whatever's going on with them. Does that make sense? We want to see them absolutely succeeding, as we want to see each other doing that, as we want to see the people we love doing that. And so we see the success for our family and our friends, no matter what life brings. Even when life brings confusing situations in the world, war, hate, lies in our world of affairs, we can speak success. We can see freedom for all people, everywhere. We can see solution. We speak perfect outcomes, awakening the world to greater compassion for all people, everywhere. Yes? Yes. When we go and start repeating all the bad things that are going on, we create the energy of that. Yes? Does that make sense? Good. Good. And we have to even create words of love and compassion for people in powerful positions. Use your tongue to heal the world. Good? So I'll end this lesson today on, in my opinion, two of the most powerful words that any of us can use. And these two words are, what if? What if I bless my life every day? What if I'm willing to walk in the light and the love of pure spirit? What if I see everything always working out for my greatest good? What if I bless and know that right where you are is moving you into a greater sense of unity and harmony in your own being? What if? Just think of it. Where are you going to put your what ifs? What's your tagline on what if? Speak success into your life. Stop and listen and expect Spirit to guide you. Don't use your words to describe the situation. Use your words to change the situation. The more we repeat what isn't working, the greater the power we give to the problem. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Good. What if? What if everybody we meet is loving and kind? And if by chance they're not, what if they need our love? What if they need your smile? What if they need your patience? Let's take that into prayer. So we breathe into this moment of gratitude and thanksgiving for this opportunity to join together in such loving support of one another, right where we are and right where we are not. Knowing and accepting that there's only one power, one all-loving, all-nurturing presence by whatever name. I call this God, the infinite, the divine, the beloved. It is here, it is alive in me, and it is the life force in each and every one of us. And so we claim it this morning for ourselves. What if I know I am the beloved place where God shows up? How am I going to act? How am I going to be? What if I believe that the powerful healing that is taking place in my body is taking place in the body of my loved one's affairs? What if I know everything always works out in divine right order? I know and accept that this loving power, this loving presence that I call God is here, right now, in and through, and has each and every one of us. So we know and accept that everything is working for our highest and greatest good and the absolute harm of none. So I bless each one of us, knowing and accepting that this powerful presence is awakening greater within us than ever before. And so I just release this, my word, into the ever-living, loving law of God that always says yes. And if you're in agreement with me, please join me in saying, and so it is. Amen.